Let's work through together one challenging problem on page 24. At the bottom of the page, they have 3 problems. They say do on separate paper. So they don't give you room there, and it might be easy to skip those, but those are important to develop your thinking skills. So let's look at the harder one, number 5, and kind of walk through the steps together, okay? So this is the problem that they give us. So we just wrote this part down again, and now let's see, what can we do here? Secant, here I have sine squared. But because they have the same thing in both of these, what if I factor that out? So secant theta, parentheses, well, that would have to be 1 minus sine squared theta. And you can see that if you do distributive property again, secant theta times 1 would be secant theta. Secant theta times the negative sine squared theta would give us this, okay? And so now we're going to do another substitution. Let's see, 1 minus sine squared theta. That looks an awful lot like this one. Sine squared theta plus cosine squared theta equals 1. All right, so if I subtracted sine squared theta from both sides, 1 minus sine squared theta, that would equal cosine squared theta. So this I'm going to substitute cosine squared theta, and then I'm going to substitute for secant. What is secant? Secant is 1 over the cosine. So we'll write 1 over the cosine of theta. So now look what we have here. 1 over cosine theta times cosine squared theta, which means that this cosine here is going to cancel one of these, cosine times cosine. And so when that cancels out, then we are left with just the cosine theta on the top. And that's what we're supposed to prove, okay? So we had to do a little bit of moving things around. We first factored out the secant. And then we said, I wonder if that is one of these identities. And it wasn't directly. Just looking at these, it didn't jump out at us that we saw this one, but we see one with the sine squared and with a 1, and we can just rearrange that a little bit, and then we have the cosine squared theta. And then we should be memorizing and knowing pretty soon here that secant is the reciprocal of cosine, and then when we multiply it cancels. All right, so you can do a similar thought pattern on the other 2 problems there on the bottom of page 24. They give you a longer one above it to do, but they do show you all the steps in a similar problem, so you can kind of copy those and follow that example and hopefully do that one successfully too.